Okay, again, welcome, congratulations. Give yourself a big hand for being here today on this Sunday, where you can actually relax and you choose to be here. And I'm really, really appreciate your time, and I value your time as you value your own time. Okay, so in this Clear Intuitive Business Success webinar, this acronym of CLEAR, I'm going to share with you the journey. Okay, what is this and how is this important in your business? Okay, so because most of you know who I am, I'm Mulika K. I'm based in Singapore. And the reason why I am doing this webinar is based on the experience that I've been working with individuals of reading their soul blueprints, personalities, and also some of you have already enrolled my marketing and strategies, right? So therefore, and I want to share with you how this combining of your expertise and your inner calling will help you to give fulfillment in your business. Okay. So, okay, hold on. It's too fast. So if you are in at this moment in the from part-time wanting to start a business or already start a business from part-time and want to plan to have a full-time business, then this is the right webinar for you, right? If you already full-time business and you want to tap into your intuitions to enhance better decision making and to enhance a better listening skills of your own intuition, and this is also for you. So what happened is that when life is out of alignment, what we can see is the external, right? The situations, the person. So when our feelings stuck, frustrated, and overwhelmed, this is a sign for us to stop and look within. Am I doing the right thing? Is my job is a correct job? It is my business, is it a correct business, right? So therefore that feeling of stuck, frustrated, and overwhelmed, it becomes a sign. If God can give you a sign, this is the sign. So sometimes we work so hard and yet we cannot move forward. Or sometimes we don't have the clarity what is in front of us because there's no certainty. So therefore we are unable to take action. That's where we start. Or sometimes we are doing so many things because afraid of losing opportunities. And then we feel overwhelmed, not knowing which is exactly our inner calling. Because if we know that, oh, this is your inner calling, and then we can work towards it. But if we don't know and we try everything to test our passions, and by testing all that passions, you have a lot of overwhelming in your hand, right? So therefore, that is also another sign. If you are feeling all of this, I want you to stop and pause and reflect. Because by stopping, pause, and reflect, it will give you a time to actually question your importance in your life. Why I'm doing all of this? What is most matters to me? And then the next question is that, am I doing this to seek values from others? Or am I doing this to prove my worth to others? Because we do so many things, but we have no idea what is it that we are doing it for, right? So then therefore, once you have clarity of what is it you are doing for, then you can actually open the door. If you are doing a business, then you open the door, have a clear of what is it of clients that you want to serve. You cannot serve everybody, like I cannot serve everybody, right? And then when you have that clarity of what kind of clients do I want you to serve, then therefore you can have plan, you can have strategies, and you can even have the right language and right message for them. So when all of that come in alignment, your business will grow tremendously. So that, how many of you agree with this? If you agree, you may want to type in the chat so that I know that all of you know what I'm talking about. At the end of the day, I don't want to speak too much and you don't get anything out of this. So what I want is, in this session, I want you to get the gist of what I am saying in each slide. That's why my slide, a lot of pictures, because pictures speak to your subconscious, speak to your emotions, right? So therefore, I use a lot of pictures and I will explain like an example of what is this picture all about. Okay, thank you for the thumbs, so that is really helped me a lot, that you understand, because that is my ultimate intention, that you understand in this session, because I know that some of you over there are very early morning and some of you over there are very late afternoon, where you need to spend your time with your family, but you are here. So therefore, I really treasure your time, and I'm going to say it again and again to make you feel valued, to make you feel important, because you are important. And why I call you royals? It's very simple. Royal is not a title. A royal is your inborn, that you are these precious, worthy souls that experiencing in this human body. So my definition of royal is not the same as the definition of the public of royals. So therefore, take that titles within yourself. If you were a royals, how will you treat yourself? Will you treat yourself kindly? Will you treat yourself respectively? So that is why I call you royals. So that all this journey, I'm going to say royals, 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 so that it will implement in your heart that feeling of exclusivity of yourself, because no one can give you except yourself, right? So therefore, I want you to give it to yourself. So hold on. I typed too fast. Okay. So what is a CLEAR, clear? And this is a message as well. When I found this formula, it was downloaded. So if I were to give and teach a business owners what kind of method I want to teach, and then the words CLEAR came in, and then it gave me a pictures of how this clear is actually applied in day-to-day life, because a business is an extension of you. So therefore, your business will do well if you yourself do well, right? So what is C? Clarity. Clarity of who you are, because you are the driver of your business and you are the most important person in this business. So therefore, clarity of who you are, of your beliefs, clarity of your purpose, clarity of your motivations, and the clarity of why you want to do this business. It is very, very important. It will be able to help you make a wiser decision if you are very, very clear. If you are very clear of yourself, it will be very easy for you to communicate with the people that you need to partner with, the people that you need to be working with. And if you are very clear with yourself, you don't have that the need to prove people, because you know that if I'm not good at this, I'm not going to force myself doing certain tasks that I'm not good at. Because if you are keep focusing on the tasks that you are not good at, what happens is that the stuck will come in, because the efforts that you learn, it costs a lot of unwanted feelings, right? The feeling of that not good, why cannot finish? So therefore, by knowing what you can do and what you cannot do, it will help you leverage on the people that can help you do. Okay, so later I will share more. And then what is listening? Listening is listening your intuition. Listening your intuition is like opening up a radio, getting the right channels, like connecting. If I were to use a metaphor of handphone, right? Your handphone is your what is that called, your resources. But if your handphone is not connected to the Wi-Fi, that handphone lost its purpose. So you are like the handphone, and the guidance is like a Wi-Fi. If you don't have that Wi-Fi, you cannot download information, you cannot find out information. So that is the purpose of why is it so important if you are tapping into your intuition. And then the next thing is emotional power. Right? In all what we need to do, we need energy, right? Energy is the power, the emotional power that we have. If we are feeling unhappy, therefore our energy is very low. If we are feeling motivated, our energy are become high. So therefore, emotional power is very crucial. So then how we can take care of our emotional power within? Because emotional power is like a battery. There's no battery or there's no oil or fuel to fill your car. Nothing's get done, nothing's get moved. Right? And then A stands for alignment. Right? Alignment, it is also very, very important. So what is the alignment that in your business? Are you aligned? Is your business aligned with your inner calling? Right? Inner calling basically means you are here, you are very passionate with something, right? And then you really want to make an impact. An impact is like a feeling of innate impact is usually an inner calling, right? So therefore, want to ask yourself, is your business inner calling that you feel this is something that you want to do? Because if it's inner calling, no matter how hard the path ahead, you will persevere because it is very close to your heart. It is like a soul mission, right? Like impossible mission and become possible, because inner calling is the only preservation and determination that keep your belief. Because when you have that belief, you will do what it takes to make that happen. But if the business, it is just to survive, oh, I want to do this business so that I can make a lot of money, then that is business that when there's a challenge ahead and when there's no money that to be made, then you feel very sweet. Sweet means you get something, you will do something else, right? So therefore, how to make a business align with your soul mission and with your expertise. If you know that you have a soul mission, but you don't have expertise, it also goes nowhere. You just become a dreamer, right? So therefore, we want to know the alignment. Is your business in alignment with your inner calling? Are you having the expertise to fulfill, to combine together with that business so that that business can actually run? And then thirdly, are you having the right vehicle, right? The right vehicle is what kind of resources, what kind of vehicle are you using? If you are going into a mountain, you need to have the right vehicle. So vehicle in a business is like, I would say community, right? Community or the people that you are working with is actually part of your vehicle, because your vehicle is like a vision, it's like a bus, or it's like an airplane that allows you to bring people all together into a one destination. Okay, the fifth one is the reaching the right audience, because in every business there must be a self-sustenance, there must be a sustenance in business. So therefore, having the right audience who believe in you, who willing to pay you for your service, who willing to stick with you and be loyal to you, and this is the most crucial. This is the blood of the business. And in order for this, we need a system, we need the people, we also need the we call it like a strategies. So all of these five, in order for us to have a business that fill our heart and also fills our finances and emotions, these are the five types of five CLEAR that we need to follow. Okay, so far, am I clear? If I am clear, can you help me type in the chat so that I can move forward each of these letters, and then I give you the metaphor on how these letters work and why these letters work in the business. If it's clear, then I can move forward. The next step, type yes. Great. By the way, I appreciate for your participation and being here again for those who just came. And I want to keep repeating it because so that you can do it for yourself. Repeat to yourself that I acknowledge myself, I acknowledge my time, I acknowledge my beingness for being here. Okay, so the first is clarity of you. I believe I skipped one slide. Hold on, just give me a second. Yeah, correct. So this is the clarity of your inner self, because in this business, you are not just business. Sometimes we are so in the business until we forget who we are. We forget our needs as a business owner. We forget our emotions that we need to take care of. We forget our being inner self, right? That we need to actually, the most important thing, that if without that inner motivations, the business plan, it becomes like, can be a self-sabotage, right? Why a lot of people start business and then after that they get so overwhelmed and they subconsciously sabotage their business. So therefore, clarity of your inner self. Who are you at the inner? That if you are not wearing your titles, you are not wearing your status as a mom, as a wife, as accountant, or as a salesperson, as a marketer. So if you are not all of that, then who are you? Right? So this is something that a lot of people don't want to go deep into, because they usually have a self-concept that what people tell them when they were a child. So if low self-concept, it will equivalence to low self-esteem. Right? So then therefore, having that clarity of your inner self, it is the most crucial thing before you want to start a business. Because if you start a business and then you have to juggle with your inner self, then what happens is that you have a lot of inner conflict within you, that you are not fighting outside, because outside you have to get clients, you have to close people, you have to deal with rejections. But inside you, if you are not able to clean up that inside of inner rejection, outside it will reflect all the rejections that you might face, because the rejections of the outside, it is just an extension of the inside. Like I mentioned, a business is an extension of you outside. So therefore, do you think that by knowing yourself, healing yourself, and get clarity of yourself, it is very important? If it is important, I want you to type I in the chat. Okay. So there are self-concept clarity here. I want to use a metaphor, right? Because there's no man here, so I cannot use monk. So I will use none, right? So self-concept, there are two. One that is very peaceful, wanting to be always connected to higher self, connected to the heart, connected to God, to whoever that, connected to your belief. That is one version of you. And then the other version of you is the person who wear a task, or wear a robe, or wear a jacket. Once the moment you wear a jacket, you are into someone's roles. And then if you own a business, you have so many roles in your head. You become the CEO, you become the chairman, you become the marketer, you become the finance, you become the salesperson, you also become the operations. All of this you are wearing. Imagine you have so much of hat that you have to wear. the tendency to forget your inner non, it is very, very high, because when the moment our mind focus on the task, what is invisible, it becomes least important. So then you will have this, I have no time to meditate. I have no time to spend 30 minutes, 1 hour to talk to myself. I have no time to work on myself because those are not important. But in actual fact, it's opposite. If you could have that inner clarity, inner peace within you, everything else becomes manageable. And what is the reason why we cannot sit still, right? There is a reason. It's not your fault. It's not that you don't want, you want to. But there is this called the body identity. It is having its own will. It means that later I will meditate, and then the body will tell you, no, I don't think so. You will be very busy later. I don't think you have time to meditate. And that is the conversation that every single day you have with your body. Your body always tell you, no, I don't think so, because this has never happened. So then when you meditate, and then the body again will communicate with you, what are you doing? You are so busy. You have so many tasks to do. Why are you doing sitting down here being lazy and achieve nothing? And then your mind get again triggered. Oh yeah, I have to do this. I have to do that. I haven't opened email. How many of you can resonate what I say? How many of you can resonate if I say? If you can, right, type M. Yeah, so that's when we get so frustrated. Why I cannot meditate? Because the body has its own will. That's why you cannot win the body. Pardon my language, the body is like an animal. If we don't train them to listen to us, to listen to our conscious, the body will have its own will. So when you meditate, the body will get very restless and want to move here, move there. And then when you are trying to relax, your body will tell you, get up, don't waste time. But when you are playing games, for example, or watching movie, the body is okay. It's the same dysfunction. The function of like watching movie and relax is the same. The purpose is to relax, right? But the body, if it is distracting to watch something, the eyes is okay. But if the body just sits still and just think nothing, the body will get very, very restless, because this is not the body trained to. So once you train the body to meditate every single day, the body will eventually follow you, give in to you. Okay, that means this is the routine, because the body is just a habitual system. So if you don't train every day, then the body will keep telling you, no, this is not how you do it usually. This is not how you your routine every day. So therefore, how you can actually talk to your body, you have to communicate, you have to have a relationship. Your conscious self and your body have to have a relationship. You have to give what the body wants. But first you negotiate. Negotiate. I will give you what you want in 1 hour later, but now I need to relax and close my eyes. You have to sit down and listen to me. And as if you are talking to your pet. Your body is like your pet. And who actually created that pet? Is your unconscious program, right? So therefore, this is something that you must take note, that you have two versions that you have to take care of: your innate self and your rules. Both has to fulfill their needs. The needs must be fulfilled for both. You don't neglect one or the other, because if you neglect one or the other, your life become imbalanced. When life is imbalanced, frustration come in, overwhelm come in. Okay, so this is a metaphor of what kind of unclear or confusion will create a pictures. Imagine your mind is this what is that string, And if it's a confusion, it becomes entangled, becomes very messy, unclear. But if it's clarity, it's like a path. You draw like a path. You know where exactly where to move, clockwise or anti-clockwise, right? So therefore, in business is also the same. If you are so clear of your what you can do and who you are and what's your impact wanting to have in the world, then you can have this clarity because the business is extension of you. Business is entity on its own in terms of the law, but business is just an expression of different types of you. It's a business is like a vehicle. Okay, why you start a business? Because it's a vehicle for me to have what is the next destination, to have financial freedom, to have more time for my family, to have more money, right? Because so that's why you actually use business like a vehicle, like a car. So then the question is, who are you really? At this moment, who are you really? And then this is where you are right now. And then the next thing you want to ask yourself, who I wish to become? Because your business will make you becoming somebody. You cannot become the same person if you want to have a successful business. You will transform because that perturbations, that challenges ahead of you when you are running a business, it will change your personality. It will change your maturity. It will change your perspective. It will also transform your skill. Everything else will transform. So then if you are not clear who you wish to become, then the business will shape of who you will become. But why don't you make a decision of who you wish to become? And you use the business as a vehicle for you to send you to the journey. So the business becoming following your criteria. You are not jumping because someone says so. A lot of people jump into a coach because they think coach can make money. But if they are not suitable to be a coach, and then they will feel struggles, right? So therefore, have to be very clear of what you want to become in the process of your business. And the business then therefore actually customize to what you want to become because your product is yourself, right? Your product of who you want to become is you. And then the process is using the business. How the process become, when you interact with people, you will learn something. You will gain something. You will understand something. So that add on to your maturity. And then when you mature, you become someone else. Your personality will change, right? So therefore, knowing who you wish to become, it is very important. So now it's chat time. Who you wish to become, you want to write down because who you wish to become is a reality that you can create in the future. Who you are right now, it is a past product of the past. You cannot change, right? But you can change from today, who you wish to become in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. And then I want you to write in your paper, I want to become this, this, this. And then the next question I want to ask you is this: what kind of experience will you want to go through in order to become that person? And number 3, what personal growth are you looking to go into? And number 4, what contribution or impact you want to give to the world? Because when you have so much experience, you have knowledge. You cannot be putting your knowledge into your body and then bury in the grave. That's not what the soul wants, because the soul naturally is very giving and sharing. So when you are so much of knowledge, it's very natural for you to actually contribute and share. So when you share to the world, you have more wisdom. That's your personal growth. I'll give you another 1 minute to reflect on this. If you have not started a business and you want to start a business, you discover what you want to become, what you want to experience, what growth you want to achieve, and what contributions do you want to give. Okay, so now this is the metaphor, and all of this, it was guided to me how you can deliver to make people understand. Simple pictures and metaphor. It will speak to your subconscious. Okay, it will speak to you in your heart, right? A business is like a car, and you are the driver of that business. And then the path to go that route is your entrepreneurship path, your what is that called? Later I will share with you. There are total 8 of entrepreneurship path or business path that is suitable for your personality, for your inner calling, right? So the path is using what resources, using the knowledge, using the expertise, using your strength. Then that's when you decide the path. Because if you decide the path that is based on the weaknesses, then therefore you will have a lot of issues in your journey. So the path is basically your expertise, your passion, your strength, and you're good at. And then the goal is the destination. The destination of you starting a business is not want to build a huge business. Let's say I want to own a building. That is only the service. What is the goal of you starting a business? What business can give you? Okay, I will share my example, right? So my example is when I start a business, that was like 15 years ago when I was working as an accountant. When I want to start a business, I have these images in my head, right? That was 15 years ago. I want to start a business. I want to start online business so that I imagine my children will sit on my lap and then I still working. I cannot imagine I have to leave my children. So therefore, that is not going to be my life. So I want to start online business so that I can put my children on my lap and work. That was 15 years ago. When I I was employee and I want to start a business. And I asked myself why I want to start business, because the job that I have currently is okay. I'm enough for my salary, enough for my food, but why I want to start a business? So then that image came in, is that because I want to sit with my kid on the lab and then work at home. That was 15 years ago. So what is yours? Now I have a different business because I don't have kids, right? So now I have a different vision. I want to become somebody else. So what I want to become? I want to become someone who give the light to those people who have no light because of the grief, because of the traumas, because of the emotional issue. They no more light. So what I want to have, I want to become that person who give the light to that person, so that that person will give the lights to another person. Because if I give one light to one person, that person is going to give another light and extend. So that's what I see. What I see myself is that standing in front of thousands of people, especially people who find what is their inner calling, what they want to do. And what I want to become is helping them to see that they are not what the society tell them so. They are someone, they are human, they are spirits living in this human experience with potentials. And I want to be surrounded with these people, and I want them to discover themselves, because when I help them to discover who they are, they start to see, oh, I am this great. And that what gives me fulfillment, because when I tell them this, you are this great, you are not that person that you think about, but you are this beautiful light that you are potentially can spread that light to the rest of the world. So that's why I attracted a lot of spiritual people, coaches, mentors, because of that. That is what I want to extend myself into. And then what does that give me? Right? So what does that give me? By helping these people shining the light, I will shine automatically my own light. And since I was very young, I'm very clear of this life vision, is that in this life, I want to be enlightened. I know this sounds very, it's like non-normal, but this is what I have been go through. If I were to have one big mission and vision in life, enlightenment would be my path, but not the kind of enlightenment that what Buddha or whoever type, but it's enlightenment a very practical way, right? So that every day we clean up our own inner block. That is a form of enlightenment. So what is it, your goal? Why you want to start a business? So if you want to help people, then you want to define what kind of help are you giving. So when you help them, what kind of result they get. So with that kind of passion and emotion, right? So whatever challenges in your business, you will continue to persevere. Okay. So far, in this particular metaphor, am I clear? If not clear, I'm going to continue. If clear, you type C in the chat so that I can move to the next slide. Okay, great. So your mission is to write down what is your end goal exactly. If this is your last day of in the earth, what is it that you want to achieve? That is the question that will make you sink and deep into a spiritual questions. So then this is the reason why it's important, because the motivation, right? Your motivation of starting your business is depending of that question. Because business, it is very tough. Challenges, uncertainty is almost guaranteed. But if you don't have that strength, that motivation strong enough to pull you like the rocket, then you'll keep being brought down by the fear and of uncertainty. Okay. So then the question is your motivation of starting business. Are you doing the work that you don't believe in? Or you are working on your inner calling? And this will actually define your day-to-day motivations. Sometimes it is very common and normal that you feel very demotivated. But if you come back, hold on, I'm going to mute someone. But when you come back to these questions, then your motivation will start to come, because this is my purpose. This is why I'm doing it. So therefore, you will bring yourself, you will motivate yourself. You don't have to ask people for motivation, because you are your own motivation. Your calling is your own motivation. Hold on. I keep skipping. Hold on, yeah, just give me a second. So then the next thing is that when you have that clarity, inner clarity, require a high self-awareness. High self-awareness allows you to make a wiser and sounder decisions, because when you want to make decisions in business, there are so many paths. right? Who you want to work with, if you can trust this person, can you trust that person, can you trust this vendor, can you trust this client will not scam you, all of this. Then that when you have that high self-awareness, you are not focusing on the outside, you are focusing on the inside. And instead of asking yourself, why that person cannot be trusted, you're asking yourself within me, what is it within me that attracting the person whom I cannot trust? Who that I cannot trust that I'm attracting externally in my vendor? So then you are inside, you are inside because you are aware that whatever reality outside of you, it was begin from the inside. So that is called high self-awareness. And then with high self-awareness, you make a wiser and sounder decision. And then you also can build a stronger relationship because you know that relationship with another people, it is a mirror of you. If you hate that one particular person, there must be something within you that you hate yourself for that particular person's personality that you are not aware of. Because what's inside you, it will express outside. Then that's how you know that that is actually, I have something in myself that reflected in that person and I don't like it. That's why I judge that person. So then you're aware. So then you work on yourself. When you work on yourself, and then the people that you attract will be different. No longer the same people. Right? And then another thing is that when you are highly aware of yourself, then you can communicate effectively with people as well. Because you know that you communicate with your inner power. You don't have to communicate to please. Because if you keeping communicating to please, to seek approval, within you, you feel your energy actually being pulled down. And then you get very tired over the time. And this is something that you may not aware, but that is what happened. When you try to do something and you are doing something to seek approval of others, you get disappointed over and over and over again. How many of you agree with this? Can type 1 if you agree. Okay, that's great. So then the next thing, we are still under C, clarity, right? So the next thing is you want to ask, what is your inner calling business path? There are 8 types of inner calling business path. It means when inner calling means you are comfortable and you are good at it, right? And then there are 2 types of skills that a business that you can do well. One is using creativity. Even problem solving is also creativity. And then the second is using a relationship, or we call it social. You need to depend on this brain and people, right? So either you are very creative, you can think all the solution within yourself becomes problem solver, or you can be very, very good with people so that you ask people to help you. These are the 2 types. I'm going to share with you one by one. So the formula of this clear intuition business success is your soul blueprint plus your expertise plus demand equivalence to impactful business. If you have your soul blueprint and your expertise, but there's no demand, it means nobody is going to pay you money. And when it's nobody going to pay you money, then your business cannot be sustained. When your business is not sustained, then it will not be continuing, right? So then there's only can have a minimum impact. It must be there is a demand. It must be your expertise. It must be connected to your soul that you want to do this. Then that business is flourishing. So for those of you who had one-to-one session on the soul x-ray, then you might have already know what is your soul blueprint. And then the next thing is find out your expertise. Write down expertise that you can, and also write down what is your weaknesses. And then the next one will be the demand. Will there what is demand? Demands mean people willing to pay because they have that problem. Basically, demands means your expertise and your blueprint, it actually helps to solve people. So in other words, looking at your past self, how you solve your problems, how you find the solutions, and then is this something that you want to do and comfortable doing, and is there someone looking for these solutions, and there's a demand, then that will be impactful business. So there are 8 paths to business freedom. The first path is a path of creativity. Someone who is so creative, they can create modules after modules. They can create content after contents, right? But these people, they are very good at creating. They can generate ideas. But you ask them to execute, then that will be a procrastination in there. So if you belong someone who can create and you are not good at executing, then you have to be honest with yourself. You either have to learn how to execute with that painful, because you have to drag yourself, but you have to be aware, oh, I am this person who likes to create ideas, content. So this is the path of people who are creativity, right? So they need to work with someone who can build a system with them. Because if the creativity without system, the idea, that content will not be able to materialize. So these are people who always stuck in the head, right? And then the second one is the path of celebrity. And these people are very good at connection with people, right? So then therefore they can communicate, they can influence, they can motivate, and they can inspire. That is the path of celebrity. And what kind of path celebrity in terms of does not mean you have to be celebrity. That's not what I mean. The path of celebrity is someone who can speak like this in front of people. And when they speak, the people actually impact in their heart. Okay, this person, they touch my heart. The content that I listen to, it touched my heart. So then this is the path of celebrity or the path of communicator. And then the path of connection and leadership is someone who really loves to lead people. They are supporting people by becoming a leader themselves. So they are leaders supporting leaders. So they are very good at people. The heart is very compassionate, empathetic, because they want to really help people and help people be better. So then this is the role of supporter, and it's also leader. And then the fourth one is the path of negotiations. The path of negotiation is someone who can actually make a deal, right? So therefore, when this person as a path of negotiator, this person is very good at finding opportunities and then looking which these opportunities, who else someone looking at. So then having this between creating a bridge between the opportunity seekers and the opportunity buyers, right? And then they mix together. So what kind of path, if example in terms of business or insurance agents, right? Property agents, affiliate marketers, referral business, those are a path of negotiation. If you are really don't like to talk, right? You don't like to communicate and be in front of people, then this negotiation, and you are very good at finding deals and opportunities, then you can actually follow this path. And then the fifth one, the path of trends and timing, is someone who can spot opportunity. And you know that, oh, this is opportunity, and this opportunity is going to be only 10 days or 1 year. And then this person take the opportunity and make money out of it. And this is someone who usually very good at spotting trends. And this personality, it can be a trader, right? Because in order for you to trade, you need to know what timing to enter and what timing to exit. And by the way, trader is also part of, because you are doing trading, right? So you're part of that. That is also part of business. So when you, in everything that you do, even in investment, that investment is also part of business. So everything you do, you have to put yourself, you are the business owner. And these are the path that I'm taking. And then the other one is the path of value analyzer, is someone who likes to accumulate. That means this person understand that the values that they are looking at is actually very undervalued. So if I were to give a name to it, is for example, Warren Buffett. So who are these people? If you are very good at identifying or spots properties that is very undervalued, and then but you cannot buy yourself, right? Then you need someone else. Then you become a deal maker. You get someone who have the money to buy this undervalued. So actually the path, it can be mixed and matched. And then the 7 is the path of leverage. Is someone who can see, for example, this person usually consultant, right? So they can see, they go into your business, and then you see the asset. Oh, this asset is not being optimized. So someone who are able to optimize your assets, your costs, and also your business. So if you are good at optimizing things, right? Optimizing, getting bigger and faster and be more productive, and that is also a path of leverage. And then the last one is the path of system, is someone who is so good at creating system. In this business, right? System is like every of the operation, you can create a system, right? For example, marketing has a system. When you create this is a, when people come in and download my product, this is where I'm going to store their database. And then if people buy, this is where I want to store the database. And people didn't buy, this is what I want to store the database. And then this is a system. You need a system to create that. So then if your business don't have this system, then everything you do become manual, right? And then you have so much, even your PA have to do it for you. And then your PA, if you want to hire a PA, you must hire someone who can create a system, because a PA is helping you to create a system for you. So these are the 8 paths to a business freedom. So you make sure that you know exactly what is it that you're good at, and then you know exactly what is inside you. What is it that your inner core, what is it that your soul wants you to express? And then you express it through your business or your work. Because if you don't express, then it becomes suppressed. Okay, so far, this 8 path to business freedom, is it useful? If it is useful, type yes in the chat. Thank you all for your participation. And I'm going to move to the next one. I'm going to share with you my story, right? Because I haven't shared my stories, right? So this is how I transform, how I transit. We talk about transition, right? So I was someone who doing a lead generation or digital marketing or marketing performance, if you call, for 10 years before I jumped into following my inner calling. So from working from home, not working from home, working behind the desk, and the people that I work with, they become famous. So in other words, if I were to see the path, right, what path am I in? I was in the system behind. But that is not my inner calling. My inner calling is communications, creation, and celebrity, right? Path of celebrity is one of the highest score that I am actually doing. Like if you were to ask questions, the one that follow my inner calling is I have to communicate a lot to inspire and to motivate. And there's a reason why this is my path. Because when I look at my inner calling, I look at my journey from now all the way back into the day I born, and why I experience certain things, and why I born in a certain place, and why I work at certain place, right? So I look back into my story, and I'm going to share with you my story. So when I'm looking at my stories, I look back, looking back, but like what the, what is that called? The Apple founder, Steve Jobs. When you look back, you can connect the dot. So I was doing that, connecting the dot. So now, I am now at this moment, I am a spiritual advisor. But before that, what kind of expertise I had? I was a marketing strategist who help people to shine and expand the informations worldwide through internet. That I did that for 10 years. And then before that, I was account executive, right? Work for that for 2 years. And then before account executive, I was domestic helper for 13 years. And then before that, when I was in Indonesia, I was always entrepreneurs since the age of 8-year-old. And I started to learn business when I was 8-year-old. And I continue all the way until I came to Singapore to work as a domestic helper for 13 years. And then after that, I upgrade my skill, upgrade my mindset, and I transfer myself from domestic helper into account executive. From account executive, I started my own business with my husband in a digital marketing. And then now I'm becoming the spiritual advisor. So that was the journey. So each journey has a story. The reason why I start an entrepreneurship is because I meant to be entrepreneurs. And then the reason why I work in a domestic helper is learn to be humble, to serve. Because when you work in a domestic helper, the things that what you learn is humility. And then when you work in an account executive, I need to face numbers. I have to face numbers, right? So that when I start my own business, I know the numbers. And because I was a child, as a child, I was an entrepreneur. So to me, accounting is very natural, but I just don't like to do it. I hate doing that numbers. It doesn't give me very, a lot of energy doing it. It drains my energy. And then after that, when I become a digital marketer, a performance marketer, a digital marketer who spread the words, the messages to the world for the trainers, speakers, and coaches. That is actually a skill that for myself, that when I become the person that I'm supposed to become, I can promote myself. And I learn to be humble despite whatever that I have. So that is the path that I've been gone through. So now you look back at your path, look back and connect the dots. In each of the steps that you choose, it's not a coincidence. It was designed that way. So, and appreciate in every single step that you take, even though it's worse, but there is a gem, there is a lesson in it. And those lessons, it upgrades certain kind of your skill, or maybe you learn soft skill, like humility is something that is, I don't know how you can put it in terms of a business, but that is something that what I've learned for 13 years is very long, 13 years of humility. And also personal power, because when you have no say, then therefore you don't have personal power. So that is also what I have accumulated. So now when I have activated my inner authority, then that's when I found my personal power that I can speak to you in front of you here, like without a script. Okay, so now you look back and then ask yourself, after this lesson, ask yourself, whatever that you looking back at the dot, be good, be bad, those are lessons. And just take that lessons and then carry that lesson and put it in your hand and ask yourself, have I learned and mastered this lesson? If yes, grateful. If not, I just have an intention to master this lesson in this lifetime. So is that story very inspiring? If it is yes, can you type I? I'm really thick skin asking you this question. If yes, can you type I so that I can continue with my story? Okay, so how I put together like a formula, just now I mentioned, right? A formula. I put together my intuitive gift magic and my 10 years of try and true marketing tactic and also sales savvy, and then created into this particular business, right? Created into these particular programs because I have been speaking a lot the past 2 years. I do a lot of soul readings and I also do a lot of the consultation for the marketing. And what I realized is that if just a business without that elements of the inner calling, it becomes a very empty business. Inside the heart, it becomes very empty. So this is where I put together and create the intuitive essence in your business to allow you to guide you to solve problems, right? To find solutions using your inner voice, your inner intelligence self. So this is how I put it together and then give the advice to the business owners. So then this Lisa is actually, she is a manifestation coach. And she helped a lot of people to manifest a lot of money, but she couldn't manifest hers. So when we work together, there's some kind of elements of block, or we call it a punishment, not to allow her to have a lot of material wealth. But she can help people unlock the material wealth, but she couldn't. So therefore, we work together to unlock that. And then after that, she gave me this feedback. Okay. And this is the business owner that I used to help and expand their business using digital marketing. So then one is intuitive, one is a skill. So I put together. So I know that digital marketing, it is very high demand in business. But if digital marketing just focus on the offer, but the messaging is not aligned with the trainers, then therefore that will create a misalignment. So misalignment of messaging and the trainer essence itself will create a lot of friction. And then the trainer will not be able to deliver authentically and people will not be able to resonate. And that it also will affect their sales conversion. So therefore, having this combined together, working on the inner self and the external, it is very important. So this is the reason why I came out with this clear intuitive business. Okay, so this is the strategies that I used to share and help my client to 10 times their result. So basically, you just need to get what is it that you want to offer that you can give for free, right? And then because when you do that, what happens is that you allows them to understand you. You allows them to connect with you and build rapport with you. And then this is where they are willing to give you something in return. And then after that, you need to nurture. And then after that, you can actually sell. So this is very simple system that I use to most of the trainers. And then you can actually copy the system. And then now, instead of standing behind the laptop, I'm actually standing in front. I become speaker, trainer, and advisor for entrepreneurs because this give me a lot of fulfillment and happiness. I have more energy after I speaking to all of you, right? When I speak, words of encouragement within me is like flowing in from the head all the way down. And then I have more energy. I'm feeling more happy and more excited compared to I just help my client generally behind the laptop. But if I teach them and transfer my skills to them, that gives me a lot of, I would say the fulfillment that I really transfer my gift out to them. It's not that it will reduce my skill. No, my skill will not reduce, but at least I imparted that skill to my clients. So some of you who are already work with me, you know what I mean, right? So when I work, I feel like very happy to transfer the ideas and then to transform the ideas into something, because each of us are very different, right? So therefore, the way we need to connect with people is also different. The way we need to comment people is also different. So then this is where I follow my inner calling and together with my expertise and plus demand. So this business will give me more fulfilling, more wealth, and more impacts, because now I'm no longer wanting to do one-to-one, minimize, not say I know. I want to minimize doing one-to-one. I want to do it in a group. If everything is in the group, then therefore I can impact more people. So these are just what I do. I share with you the background of what and how the lead generation is work. And this is one of the things that I did. I didn't cover a lot, because if I cover a lot, it's going to take the time. So this is also another one. And this is also another one. Okay. So then this is the story. So this is what kind of people I help. She was usually, the person was struggling to get leads to attend their intro, because I'm very focused on helping people to fill up their seminars, right? Usually in the past, when we are using ads, right, advertisement, then this is where the people actually see the result a lot when they used to pay ads. When they are depending on organic, it's very, you cannot predict like how many people is going to turn up, right? So this is something that I like to use. I like to use ads. But for this particular session that I have with you all, I haven't really run ads yet. I'm just want to get a feedback from the people that I know before I want to launch the ads and advertise. So then this is what I like to have, is I like to have a paid advertisement into the system, because it's more predictable and it's more calculative. So you know that if one cost per lead that is opt-in into the, let's say, lead pages or form, and then you know that each costs how much, and in order for them to turn up, if you want to have a certain amount of people, then we can actually calculate backwards. I said this trainer in the past only have 4 or 2 people in the room, and then she told us, oh, I want to have 30 people in the room. So then therefore I will tell her that if you want to have 30 people in the room, you must have 100 people who opt in or give their emails and details in the website. And then from the 100, then you will have 30 people. And then from inside here, 30 people, how many people will sign up? That is usually the 10%. So we can calculate backward. If we using paid advertisement, we can actually have the predictability of how much are we going to get at the end of the month. But if you are using organic is something that you cannot control, and it takes longer because the messaging is different. But those people, if you want to run ads, right, people come to you because you target the right people. Your targeting is the right targeting, the message is the right message, and then when people comes to you, that is what they are exactly looking for. So therefore, in terms of a conversion, is much better than the organic. So this is what I actually experienced for the past 10 years, helping these people to help them increase their conversion, increase their turn up, and also increase more people to join their website. So this is also another guy from India. He actually used to have only one-to-one. He's a EFT healer. So then he came to us and, okay, I want to generate a lot of leads. And then we give him 400 leads within 2 weeks. So we asked him, okay, why don't you get people come together and share your technique? And then a lot of people interested. And then 2 weeks, within 2 weeks, we have 400 for them. And this is e-commerce, and there are many other, and this is also another trainer. So all of these are trainers. From one-to-one, we ask them to do into a big group because this is where you can scale. So then, after I share all of those, right, what is your inner calling business path and your expertise? This is something that you want to take note and bring home. Because if you know, then you'll be able to do your business and write the align with yourself, align with the vehicles, align with the right audience. So if all these alignment happen, then therefore it is very smooth sailing. There's no friction. So the second is actually listening to your inner self. This is where it is very important to know the difference when you are listening to your ego or your memories or your mind, or you listening to your intelligent self. When I say your intelligent self, is basically your intuition. Some people, they don't know where the intuition comes from. You don't have to know where the intuition comes from, but you know when it comes, it will give you a goosebump. So then this is the, again, all of this is, it was like downloaded to me. This is how are you going to describe. So you are the driver. We are talking about the same thing. You are the driver and you are looking to go into your path, following your path, and then go into your destination, which is your dream, right? And then while you are driving, you cannot see 10 kilometers ahead or 1 kilometer ahead. So what you need to rely on? So intuition is like a radio. When you turn on and give you the information ahead, hey, there's an accident in front of that road. You cannot go this road. So that you can shift your path, right? Shifting your path is not changing your destination, right? Your entrepreneur's journey, your business path may change along the way, but the destination, the goal is not changed, but you just using a different path. Sometimes when you go into the path and that path is not right, you cannot be pushing yourself go through, oh no, I want, maybe it's my strategies, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's the partner. But if you know that this is, if you listen to your intuition, right, because you do not know what is ahead of you, you turn on the Wi-Fi or the radio to listen, hey, this path is actually, there's a block there. You cannot go and take this path. Why don't you go and use the other path that allows you to lead to the same destination? So listening to your intuition is like having a radio tune on ahead of you to know what is going on, because your 5 senses cannot sense. So then therefore you need to listen to your 6 senses, because your 6 senses can sense all things at one go. So the question is that, how can I listen to my intuition? And how do I know if that is my intuition or it is just my brain? Okay. All right, just I skip one. Hold on, just give me a second. So the question is that, what is the reason you are not sure or unable to connect with your innate superpower or your intuition? How many of you have this issue? Can you type 1 if you have? I'm going to address one by one. Can you type 1 And then I'm going to address how many of you have problem having distinguish of, is it my intuition or is it just my memory? Very good. Some of you have very connected to your Wi-Fi. Some of you sometimes on, sometimes off, right? So then you do not know where and what to listen. If you have unclear of what is your intuition, right? Sometimes because of the negative experience or events. And the most very common is distrust. When you distrust about the information and it is not logic, the logic mind cannot receive that information, it very too subtle and there's no tangible of reasoning for that information, then that's when you feel distrust. And then the third one very common is actually inner critics. When you don't listen to your information, usually because the inner critic is too loud. The inner critic is too loud. That's why you cannot listen, because the intuition is very subtle and very gentle. So gentle that if you don't quiet your mind, you may not be able to actually grasp it, because it is it's an impulse. Like you just know and why you know it. But if you know and then you question your why, that's when your inner critic come in. So the way to identify your intuition is you always have this impulse, and the impulse is like, you know, in your heart is right. And then when your mind try to question, cannot be, I don't think so, you may want to silence and then focus your eyes upward, looking upward, like a 20 degree above your eye level, and then just silence for that 5 minutes to receive the information, to confirm the information it is from your intuition or your brain. Because the inner critic will speak to you in a very active mind. But when you are silent, then you can hear your intuition very clearly. And then if you try 1 time and 2 times, and then you feel that, no, I still don't have, don't get yourself frustrated, because frustration is also a trigger for the mind to tell you, I told you so, it is not true, it is not true. So when you're frustrated, you just say, it's okay, I will try again. Okay, so that is how you're going to listen to your intuition. Know what you are not trusting about. Why is it you are not trusting the information? Is it because of the past experience? And then the second, what inner critic that always counter object the information? And then if you can identify the inner critics, then you can actually put the inner critics and then mark, oh, the inner critic usually the pattern is this, because all of these are patterns. If you can catch that patterns and you just remember to put awareness on that patterns, what happens is that you will start to notice the pattern. When you put awareness into a negative patterns, right, that patterns will start to reduce the impact or the effectiveness. Because if you keep allowing the patterns to keep appearing and then you just distract it and then let it go, then it will keep again and again and again coming to you and criticize whatever that intuition comes to you. That's why we call it the devil and the angels, right? These two, which one louder? Usually the devil is louder. So therefore, always remember, if the devil is so loud, right, you don't trust the loud one. You only trust the soft one. And then by allowing yourself to focus or your attention at the eye level above 20% your eye level, and that will allow you to minimize the brain wave from being so active, and then filter out all the critics, and then left a soft messages that you can listen to. So there are many case studies that if you listen to your inner intelligence, right, it makes your relationship flourish. So there was one person that I shared with me. This person wanting to have a partnership, and this partnership is very important, right? Because sometimes when we want to do a business partnership, we always ask how many, what is the percentage of profit sharing? And then we always ask, okay, so who is do more and who is the one that is do less? If use logic and based on the logic, the one who do more will get more, right? But when this person listening to her intuition, right, the intuition tells her 50-50. And then when somebody and then when she actually shared with somebody else, oh, this person, then this somebody else actually tells her, why you are the one who do so much, and then why you get 50-50? It should be the one that is do more, you get more. And then she insists that she wants to listen to her intuition, right? And then when she actually tried to actually take the suggestion from her friend that she take more, but something inside her is not set up. And something inside her tell her that if you do this, the partnership is not going to last. And then therefore she decided to follow her own intuition. And then the moment she decide follow her intuition, she really like happy, feel peaceful of that decision, because she know that in the long term it is right. That is how inner intelligence can help you make a wiser decision. It's not based on the logic, because if you base on that, logic is good, but make sure that it is covered by win-win-win, right? So win-win-win. So when you follow your intuition, you are not looking at just current, but you are looking more towards the future. So another example of people who like my business partner who listened to his intuition. There was one time she went into a business meeting, right, in overseas, and then the intuition tell him to go and change earlier flight. And then when he was having a meeting, it keep bugging him, change your earliest flight. And then after that, he finally make a call to the company, and then he changed the flight. And then after that, after he reached his home country, and then he saw a news that in the airport, the flight that he supposed earlier on to take is actually, there was a riot and chaos. So if he didn't take the advice from the intuition, he might have stranded in the airport with a lot of chaos. So this is the kind of voice, right, that you allows you to actually save you from troubles in the like upcoming, which you cannot see, right? So this is the part. So therefore, listening to your intuition is, for your business, it is very, very important, because our five senses can only sense what is tangible, can only calculate what is predictable. But many things in life and in business is really unseen and invisible and intangible. That's where our intuition can catch it. The six senses can actually catch it. So tuning in to your intuition, it is one of the key elements in your business. Okay, before I start, so far, is the information useful? If type useful, if it is, before we still have a few more topics to cover, I'm going to go faster this time. Is it useful? Great. All right, so let's continue. The next one is emotional power. So this is another ingredient to manifest a dream into reality is emotional power. And it's very important if we know how to tap in this emotional power. So as a business owner, you realize that you are the CEO, but not CEO as a chief executive, but CEO is chief emotions officer. You are the officer of your own emotions, because when you having the emotions in your own hand, right? So then therefore you need to be able to manage and display the right emotions to your partners, to your clients, and also to your vendors, because your emotions will allow people to have better confidence or no confidence in you. Right? So then again, I will use the same metaphor. You are the driver and the car is your business, and the path is the road, is your business path that you take. And along the way, when you are driving towards your path, your petrol will run low. And your petrol, your run low is your emotion. So therefore, having a plan on how you can actually manage when your emotion is low, and how you can catch yourself and don't show it to your staff or your employee or your partners or your prospect. So when you have that, you can manage how can you calm your own emotions in a short period of time. And this will help you to change your state, your emotional state, because your emotional state is very important for you to actually run a business, because a business needs a lot of energy. And if your energy is low, your emotional state is low, you don't have energy, right? When your body is in aching, you don't have energy, because the body ache is also causing you to have low emotion because it's tired, right? So emotion is like a fuel, it's the heart of you. Whether you are feeling good or not good, it also will determine your productivity. So to ignite your sparks in your business, always ask the why. Because like I said, in business, uncertainty and feeling insecure, it is always present, because it's not like working for people. Because working for people, you know that whether you do well or not doing well, you will receive a salary, fixed amount. But in business, it's not the same case. In business, it's always in uncertainty. It is always present, right? Stress is also always present. So therefore, we need to be able to manage that uncertainty and that passions to continue the business. And that passion is why. Why are you starting this business in the first place? That ask again the motivation, because when you are able to find that why, that allows you to rise again and fly, then this will be your inner motivation guru. You don't have to pay Anthony Robbins to get motivated. You motivated by asking yourself that allows you to rise and fly. That is the motivation of why you started the business in the first place. And why you have to continue of where you started. Along the way, times might be difficult. You may need to shift your path temporary, which is okay. Don't beat yourself for that. But then again, once you are feeling motivated, and then after that you come back and then continue your journey, because only you can fulfill your own mission. Nobody else can. Mission is you have to walk towards it in order for you to feel that fulfillment. So why is the question. And then for who is another question. Who you are doing it for. And then why? Usually the personal impact. The personal impact that allows you to make that feeling come back, rise. Okay, yes, I want to do this business. Like that feeling of that superwoman. Hold on, let me just silence. Okay. So I was just unmuting, muting people, right? So then always come back to the core, because this is the core. This is the core why you need to do this. And then if you do not know why, then you have to go back into your clarity, clarity of who you are and what do you want to become. That clarity have to do the homework and back to the basic, because that clarity is the foundation and basic. So this is the effect of emotions. When you are feeling uncertain and afraid, the battery is very low. But if you are feeling so motivated and joyful, you can carry the earth together with the rest of the people. So therefore, when you are feeling down, you ask yourself inside, what feeling? This body right now, you don't identify that feeling is yours, but you want to say what feeling this in this body right now and where this feeling is in this body. And then when you just feel that recognition and acknowledgement of that feeling in the body, and then you just start to breathe in and breathe out, breathe in and breathe out, and then you release. And then once you release, you align back to your why. That's when you handle and manage your emotions. Acknowledge the feelings in the body, feel that sensation, feel that feelings, feel that emotions. And breathe in, breathe out that emotions to allow it to flow. And then after that, release. And release, once you release that feelings, and then after that, you align back to your mission of who you wish to become. And that's when you start to, again, create more energy and more better state of being. And then after that, you meet your clients, meet your prospect, meet your employee. And then once you do that, you can actually continue your life. But when you are in this, the first state, you don't want to see anybody, because your emotion, it will affect your impression as well. So case study how high energy manifests opportunity. Right? So because of this, secrets of creating reality that you want, because there are only three components of who we are: the vibrations, the energy, and the physical. Right? And physical created by very high frequency, and high frequency will create very high energy, and high energy then will turn into a physical matter, right? So then how do I know where do I know that I am a vibrations? Your beliefs, your words, your tones, your sounds, your view of life, all of this is a vibrations. They are vibration. Your programs in the body is vibrations. And your spirit, your Holy Spirit is vibrations. And then what is energy? The energy is the energy center. We call it, if you know, chakras. And chakras, there's the energy in the body that rotate. And that rotation will create feelings and emotions. So if you have high emotions, then that energy actually generating a lot of good feeling. But if you have low emotions, the wheel becomes so slow and rusty, right? So therefore, that what caused that rustiness? What caused the wheel not to spin, what caused the blockages, the energy not to flow? It is traumas. Trauma will cause the energy to get blocked. The events that is negative, the words that people, you listen to, the labeling that you receive from other people will create negative feelings, and that will also lower your spin. But most of the thing is traumas, right? And the traumas is not just in this life, because this energy is brought forward. It's like accounting. So the traumas can be from different lifetimes, and then you draw forward in this life. So therefore, you can say, I don't have any traumas in this life. How come I feel so much of block in the energy? We do not know. We need to know the soul X-ray where the traumas happen. As this is where understanding, discovering of who you are is not so simple. Just asking, filling up your personality question. That personality question is not truly who you are. Who you truly are is all of this essence of vibrations and energy. And the personality that you are feeling online or whichever that you are looking at is actually looking at the method, the result, the habits. But where is exactly the roots is located in the vibrations. Right? So you want to change your reality, you change your vibrations. Discover what is there in the vibrations, and then so that you can unlock the energy, so that the energy can materialize a physical reality. This is how powerful emotion is, because without these emotions, right, you cannot create anything. There's no energy to create, because your energy have to divide to self-repair and also to manifest reality. So if you only have a little bit of emotions, and your body will only focus on the urgent and important emotion, which is to repair. So now let's talk about aligning your business with your inner calling. How many of you already in the business? Can you type 1 if you are, and type 0 if you have not? I'm going to wait for 2 minutes to see the answer. Okay, so some of you type 1, some of you is there, but not really fully there. Yeah. Okay. So aligning your business with your inner calling is about aligning your inner, like your soul blueprint. What is it your soul wants to express in this life? And then based on the expression, we start to connect with why I feel certain way, because only you know what is inside your thinking and your feelings. Sometimes we think a certain thing, but we do not know why we are so obsessed in certain things, right? So alignment is like a following the direction. Sometimes when we have so many paths that we need to choose, and that's when we create a confusion or indecisive. So therefore alignment is like, I have 2 paths, but I do not know where should I follow. So then check with inner self, your inner clarity. So what is my soul calling? I give an example. For example, me, right? Should I follow in my digital marketing because there's a lot of demand? Or should I follow in my soul actualizations services, like soul advisors, spiritual advisor? And this is exactly we talk about, where should I follow? I believe you have this kind of experience, right? So the good news is that, ask yourself this question. Can you put together the demand and your gift, and then put it together in alignment and then work together instead of you having to choose. And that's what I decide. I decide that I should bring over my 10 years of experience in marketing where a lot of people need it and bring together my gift to help them clarity in their visions, in their EQ, IQ, and SQ. And then put this into together as a path to work so that I can reach to more people. I don't have to identify, oh, I just want to help people who are spiritual. Or I don't have to identify, I have to let go to my spiritual inner calling in order for me to survive. Right? So because these are two combinations, it becomes left brain and the right brain. So it takes both in order to make it successful. So I put it together. I don't have to choose. I bring along together. And then I walk towards this path. So what is yours? If you could, don't have to choose and put it together. And this is where you need someone to see for you because you cannot see yourself. What is it that I am good at? I have no idea, but I know I want to do that, but I don't know that I don't have the skill right now. Or is it should I follow my left brain that allows me to survive? But if I follow my left brain, I get very tired easily because I don't have that fulfillment. Because at the end of the day, when about to close your eyes, the question that we ask ourselves is not how much money we have in the bank. The question that ask yourself is this: have I lived my life? And are you willing to let go that question? If you know how to answer that question when you about to die, then go ahead and follow your logic path. But if you cannot answer that, have I lived my life to the way that is fulfilled? Then find a way to bring it together. If you cannot do it yourself, get someone to do it with you, because that's the only path you can see the clarity, because you cannot see your past, you cannot see your future, you can only see now, and based on now, not enough information for you to bring you forward. So this is where the alignment, the good news is that you don't have to choose either, but you can combine it together and walk the same path together. You don't have to separate, choose one or the other. It's like, I want to be spiritual, but if I'm spiritual, I cannot be rich. That doesn't make sense. I can be rich and spiritual because both are not separate, both are oneness. So same goes with you. If you are having this spiritual gift and you want to go ahead and put together. You don't have to separate it. So far, did I say make sense in this? If it is yes, type M. It makes sense, type M. Okay, so let's move forward. So then the question right now is, are you in the right path of your business? The 8 paths that I mentioned about and the inner calling that I'm talking about. Is the path that you're walking with, is it aligned in your heart and in your expertise? The right inner calling is basically the path is your expertise and your heart, the passionate about is aligned, and then that's you are in the right path. You don't have to let go the other to walk one. You can put together and then become your business. And then are you aligned with your inner calling? So the inner calling, like I mentioned, it is something that you are so deeply passionate about and you don't understand why. It's because the memory from your soul, that's why you cannot understand understand why. Your mind can never capture why, but your heart, you knows very deeply that you want to do this. And you just need the how, right? And then the next question is, are you in the right business path? Right? Because not all business are suitable for everybody. Because I can see a lot of people say coach is a, if a woman, oh, should become a coach, but not everybody can become a coach. Some people are good at training, some people are good at coaching, some people are good at supporting, right? So therefore, are you in the right business path? And this is something that you may want to actually ask yourself again, go back to the basic. And then, is this the only way for you to have the business, or you can have other ways? And then by looking at, of course, if you have worked with me, then you know your soul blueprint, then you can actually put it together. But if you have not worked with me in terms of your soul blueprint, you may want to ask yourself a question, deep questions, like what is it that I want in my life that can give me that satisfaction, that even though I have to die today, I am satisfied because of the things that I've done. And that is the kind of question that you may want to ask yourself. And then another thing is that, are you using the right vehicle? Remember, I use the vehicle as a business, right? As a metaphor of business. If you want to go to a destination, you can take a different vehicle to go there. The only difference is the speed. So then there is another type of, if you want to go faster, then you jump into someone else's vehicle because they already have system, they already have a pilots. You just have to jump in. That is faster. It's like working with people, right? Working with someone who already have a business. That is another factor, because a, a business is just a form of a vehicle, not the destination. But what is your destination? Is the end goal of what you want to achieve. Freedom, family time, impacts. These are the end goal. But the destination, to achieve that freedom, impact family, it can be through different methods. Right? So, for example, if you are using your own car and then you are the one who drive and then you have to do everything, that is your business. And then if you take helicopter, then you have a pilot, right? Then therefore you are leveraging on someone's business. And then if you take bus, you have a bus driver, then you are leveraging on someone. All of these are vehicle. I'm not going to mention what are the vehicle example. You can actually think yourself. If you do you want to drive your own car, or you want to take bus, or you want to take airplane, or you want to take helicopter. And all of this is representing a business that you can tap into. If it's your own car, then it's your own business. You are the driver. That means you can decide what path you want to take. But if you are taking other people, bus or a helicopter or airplane, then you cannot decide the path because you have to follow that path. But you, as yourself, as an individual, you can design within yourself. That means within the airplane, you can have a car. That's possible. Within the bus, you can have a car. That means you can have your own system. You create your own system. You don't have to leverage. You don't have to follow that system, because sometimes not all business suitable for everybody. But you must have that space where it allows you to create your own system and to do your business. Okay. So does this vehicle metaphor, do you understand what I mean in this? If yes, please type 1. If not, you only explain, can ask question in the chat, then I can ask that question, can answer that question. No question, that means all of you understand, right? Okay, so let's next move forward. So case study misalignment creates a friction in your business. So for example of this, how many of you have experienced that misalignment create a friction in your business? One of the example that I I like to talk to my client story. So he had this alignment to him is very important, right? So then therefore he set up, because a lot of people think that having a restaurant is a very fancy business. So he also set up a restaurant. He franchised the restaurant. And then after that, he realized as a restaurant owner, he has to be everything. He has to be the one who handle the cook, the orders, and buying all the eggs, because at that time he actually opened a Western restaurant, and he realized that he doesn't like it. He inside him, this is not me. I'm not the one person who go into the kitchen and monitor the chef and monitor the people working, and he realized that it takes so much of energy to actually handle the restaurant, because his passion and his alignment is talking to people and also using technology. And then suddenly he goes into the hands-on in the restaurant. He felt so drained, and because of that friction and that feeling of misalignment and dissatisfaction, the business actually create a lot of frictions externally. And then he said this is one of the business that he didn't do well. Usually any business that he venture in, it is actually aligned with his inner calling, right? So then this one, that what people think of fancy, then he just tried it out because he likes the food. That does not mean that he has to be the owner of that restaurant. So therefore, he failed big time in that restaurant. So this is one of the misalignment of your inner calling in your business. If you feel you have so much of frictions and a lot of external block, you may want to ask, is this business aligned? Is this business will give me a satisfaction? And then after that, you will actually start. If you already start, then you want to get someone to be out. That means you don't be the one who handling it. You get someone to help you handle it so that you can observe from the outside, so that you don't get emotionally attached or emotionally involvement. Then therefore your energy will not create the business friction, because let's say a business is extension of you. If you are doing it unwillingly, then therefore the result will be equal, will be dissatisfied or dissatisfaction. And this is the last one that I'm going to share with you. So stay with me. And like I mentioned, your audience or your customers are the one that sustain your business. So therefore, you want at the beginning, you want to reach the right audience. And how you can reach the right audience is when you start to use your skills to advertise. Because when you advertise, you can choose. You can choose the right people, the right age, and the right interest. It's different from coaching group to group, very different, because group, the people who join the group, there are two types of people. One is the person who wants to promote, right? And two is the people who think they need, but in the end, if they don't have that particular needs that inside that they actually want, then they will leave. So therefore, you cannot actually measure in the group, you cannot measure whether these are the right group for you, because even though the name, let's say this name, I have this group called women support, women weight loss support, right? And in this group, I just let people in. And I realized the people that joining the group is not wanting for support. And I realized the people that joining the group, the people who are so eager to promote. So you see, when you are joining the group, you thought that group is suitable for you, right? Let's say you are business owners and you are looking for the group. You are looking for the group whom have the products to solve your problems. Correct? But at the same time, when you want to promote, but you are promoting to people who have the product as you. So in the end, that's when you realize, this group, it becomes like only wants to promote, but when it comes to promotion, nobody reply. Yeah, so that is what is the, I would say, cannot measure the public groups, because number one, you do not know who are they, because you are not the admin, right? If you keep joining group. So then therefore reaching the audience to the Facebook group that is free, that is good and that is also bad. But if you want certainty, you know that you can get the people, the right people to come to you, because the reason why they attracted to you, because you're calling out to them through your messaging. So therefore, the people who comes to you, they resonate with you because of your messaging, right? But if you are joining in the group, you cannot promote in the way that there is, what's that called? You cannot promote in the way that you are seeing selling, because some groups, they don't allow promotions unless you are paying. But even if you pay, and that the people who respond to you, they may not be your right audience, because I've tried both. And I realized if I market myself using ads and design the target audience according to what I want, the people that come to me, the turn up, I mean, like the people who attend will be like say 30% or 50% compared to people who are in the group, because they are not really looking for it. They're just curious, right? So the metaphor of how you can actually get your ideal clients is like a fishing. If you want to be, if you are using the Facebook group, it's like you are fishing one by one, right? So imagine if you fish one by one, and then every one fish you put aside, and then you put it into the basket. But advertisement, right? Advertisement is like you using a net. Every time you throw a net, and then when you pull, you're not pulling one fish. You are pulling a group of fish. So that's the difference when you advertise and you fish. Sorry, when you advertise and you post in a group, right? The difference is using a net or using a rope to fish. So which one faster, depending on you. If you are actually just learning, let's say you have a beta trial of your programs, using Facebook group is very good, because why? You want to test whether your presentation is smooth or not. You want to know whether this presentation, it is compelling or not. Then you use Facebook group, because you don't want to spend money for your testing beta, right? So therefore, that use Facebook group is fine. Let them come to you and then listen, because it's your practice anyway. But if you are looking at if your presentation is already smooth and you can close, right, then you better use your advertisement, because why? You can have measurement and prediction. You can actually predict like how many people you want, and then you can actually work backwards based on how many people you want, and then you can actually run your ads according to your target. So you can meet your target easily with advertisement than just one by one fishing. Like I said, both it can be do concurrently. But if you want speed, then you have to use the speed method, right? Because there are ways to get into a destination. You can take the boat or you can take the plane, right? So of course, plane is more expensive. Boat is cheaper. Okay, so far, the metaphor of this audience, are you clear so far? If yes, please type C, and then let me know that I can move forward after that. Okay, the rest of you, are you clear with the metaphor of fishing and catching the net, using the net? Okay, so the next thing that after you have the fish, put it in the box, right? That the box is your system. So whichever way you are getting your audience, whether be it fishing or be it netting, then you must create this for a pond for you, that you put all your fish and grow the fish and feed the fish with the food, like a nurture. And then after that, then once the fish is nurtured inside, then whatever that you want to actually promote, then that is because they have a lot of values within your system, right? Within the farm, the ponds, you already feed them enough. Then when you want to sell to them, then they likely will support you because they connect with you. They know that you are the owner of that. So then therefore, if you want to groom them, you want to sell them something, you want to upsell them something, because they already have a relationship with you, with that system building up for you, then therefore you will be able to actually connect and then convert, right? So your system, if you are not a person who can build a system, get someone to build a system, because building a system for this particular sales system or marketing system, right, it takes a lot of technical skills, right? So therefore, if you are good at presenting, just focus on presenting. If you are good at sales, then you focus on sales. If you're good at cost creation, then you focus on cost creation. And then everything else that is not good, you work with someone that is good, or you ask someone to help to do it for you. Okay, so how in a reality, how this case study in terms of reaching the right audience, right? So people in the past, they use online directories, blog, email marketing, TV, radio, PPC, basically pay-per-click, and printing, newspaper, word of mouth, social media, and SEO. This, when I say the top of this, this is the method. You are whether fishing or you are catching the net using a net. That is the first part, right? And then once you do that, you bring these people into your message of awareness. You want to get what? You want to get eyeballs. You want to get visibility. So then therefore, this visibility, right, it is the messaging, it must be aligned with what you want to offer. Let's say you want to offer, I'll give one example. Can you give me one example so that I can use that as a case study? Give me one example, what kind of offer you are having, and then after that, we use that as a case study. Type in anything. Okay, let's say use free audio downloads. Okay, so free audio download is your end gift that you want to give them, right? But your awareness is you cannot say, I want to give you free download. But what is it that the download can give the benefits? So the awareness is giving people the symptoms of the audio that can benefit. Okay, the awareness is saying the messaging of the awareness is typing the symptoms of what are the audio that you're going to give can solve. Let's say the audio for you to, the audio that you give is allows people to have peace. Let's say stress relief. The audio can give a stress relief to people, right? So then therefore you cannot just say, oh, download here for you to have my stress relief audio, right? When you do that, what happens is that you don't have the messaging that resonate with people. So first, we want to say that who are you calling? Who are these people? That's why in terms of like, before you want to do all of this, you have to create a persona of your ideal client. So then let's say we have already the persona of ideal clients who are stressful, and these people who, let's say, working mom, high executive, high flyers. So let's target a working mom. Then you want to say, hi, working mom. I know you're juggling with your home, with your housework and your kids and also your business. And you are stressed and overwhelmed and exhausted. And you don't have time for yourself to allow yourself to recharge. And this is the reason why I can feel you, mom, because I know I was there. And in that time, I was looking for some solutions that can help me relax, even if just 5 minutes. I am very, very happy to have that time, me time alone. And this is the reason why I decide to create this audio as a gift for you, so that you can have that private time of 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 15 minutes to allow you to feel that recharge. Because when you have that, you will allow you to feel more like sane, balance. Because when people are so much things to juggle, their sanity get, divided. So then you allow this person to feel, oh, this person understands me, right? This person knows what I'm going through, and I'm going to download the video. And I'm so grateful that this person give me this audio. And then the person fill in the name and email, and then they receive an email from you to download. And then of course in the email you say that, hey, by the way, this is what you are actually entitled for. It's a gift from me. It's a gift from me. And then if you feel that this is helpful for you, you can take a look more at my other audios that allows you to, then after you list out what are the things, other audios that you are selling. So then you sell your products in the email. You don't sell in the ad itself, because the ad is just an awareness. And then from the email, let's say we get that person, the person open the email and then they listen, they're very happy. And then they check again, maybe they forget, all right? Don't know where the download video or audio located. So the person go in and read the email again. And then after that, hey, I listened that one thing very good. So I want to explore other things. And then they click the website and they see, wow, they see other offers that resonate with them. So your first offer, right? It must be something that one of their issues, not the only issue, but one of the issues. But the issue is so urgent that they need to relieve it now. And then the rest of it, you can be the other things. Like this is how you can love yourself. This is how you can actually have relaxation, meditation for manifestation. And this is how you can manage your children. This is how you can manage your work. So you have a different subcategory of your product, but at least that one thing that that person want to solve immediately, that will be your free a gift as a download, right? Because from then they connect you. So it's also part of a process of evaluation. And then after that, they will start to engage in your website. They go to click your website and then engage your website. And that's when from the website they buy. So that's how they actually come to you. And then after that, once they buy, they like it, they buy again. So they become a loyal customer. So far, is it clear? If clear, can you type C? C. Then after that, I'm going to speed up. Okay, good. So awareness is a feasibility, right? Awareness. So that is the first stage. Just now I explained to you how the awareness is actually being demonstrated. So the feasibility is the currency. So now what you want is you get more eyeballs, as many as you can. Because when you just advertise your visibility in a Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, right? What happens is that you will get more eyeballs, and more eyeballs means more people know you. And when more people know you, means your branding start to kick in. So therefore, your personal branding start to actually kick in. People start to know you. People start to actually see your website, and then your visitors in your website will start to have more and more engagement, right? Maybe people read, maybe people click. All of those are part of engagement. And then your message and your impact, like I mentioned in the beginning, you must be able to call out your audience. Who exactly? That's why having a persona or we call it persona avatar, it is very important, because you want to call them out. You want to let people read when they think that they are talking to them. You are talking to them. Hey, this person is like, this message seems like talking to me. So I want to read more. So that is how you gain the eyeballs. If you are messaging for everybody and then that message is not resonating, the eyeball will not be able to catch their attention, right? The message will not be able to catch their attention. So therefore, when they cannot feel you, then therefore you cannot impact them. When you cannot impact them, then what happens? They cannot trust you. When they cannot trust you, then they cannot engage with you. They cannot like, they cannot follow, they cannot click the website. So that is a simple process. Why is that? Finding the right audience from the beginning, having the avatar of your audience, it is very important, is because of this process. If that first avatar is not being fully targeted, then therefore your messaging after that will become very not aligned. So you are not attracting the right people who want to pay you the right amount of your service. Okay. So then once they trust you, they like you, they engage with you, that's when they actually give you their money. That's when they buy from you over and over again. Okay, so what are we covering today? Clarity of your path by following your inner calling, listening to your guidance, inner intelligence. Actually, intelligent self usually save your business, emotional power, aligning your business, and reaching the right audience. How many of you so far find this presentation so far from the beginning until today very useful? If it is yes, can you type 1111? Definitely. So next time, whoever that is already working with me in this video, book your session with me, okay? So the one-to-one. Okay, great. All right, so let's continue. We finish it off. So we have covered clarity, CLEAR. Clarity, listening, emotional power, alignment, and reaching the audience. All of those we have covered in that 2 hours. And then this is for people who haven't worked with me, right? So some of you already work with me one-to-one, but in the future, I no longer actually accepting one-to-one. So I want to accept groups. So those who already work with me one-to-one will remain one-to-one. But these are for people who haven't worked with me. So just let me process who I want to work with, good people who are willing to serve humanity, very open, not fight against what is being taught, very willing to share and support, right? That is who I want to work with. And who is this course for? That I have like a group mentoring sessions. These people who are following other one size fits all, also by following your inner calling and putting your expertise together and walk that path of entrepreneur business, and then so that you can have satisfaction and the wealth together. And then want to people who are not making an impact that they crave, and then bring out of alignment with the audience so that the messaging actually cannot convert, right? So therefore, this is something that if you are facing these problems, then you may want to actually opt to work with me. So another thing is not being able to increase traffic to your business consistently because of don't know how, then this is also for you. So you don't have to frustrate anymore, because in this group course that I'm going to introduce to you, don't worry, those people who already work with me, you just stay tuned so that you can introduce the people that you know about this course and then can attend the next webinar for them, because this webinar is going to benefit a lot for them. Even the introduction itself, it is already give a lot of clarity, right? So therefore, if you already work with me, you don't have to do anything. You just have to share with your friend. I know this person, and this person is actually very committed to actually impact the clients that they work with, and then you want to recommend them to me. So this is the program name, Clear Intuitive Business Success. So then how and you can use this Clear Intuitive Business Success is you can use to solve problems for your business, create solution for your business, generate more revenue for the business or personal income, right? So this is what Clear Intuitive Business can use for. And what is this content of? This is content of 4 months program, and you will get 16 weeks of 3 hourly weekly live group mentoring session. Total of hours is 48 hours of group mentorship. And then on top of that, you will have a one-to-one mentorship once a month, total of 10 hours private session. This is the reason why we have group and one-to-one is because there is level of personal clarity that I need to work with you. That's why I have to give one-to-one, right? So, but the one-to-one is only once a month. And then there will be notes plus recorded lesson videos. And this program strictly for only 10 pack. I am not accepting a lot. In a one group batch for June, only I accept 10 people, because I want to make sure that I can deliver and make sure that I can help you work with you, execute with you together of what is the plan that you have with me. And then, are you ready to identify your unique brilliance that you can leverage to build and grow your business? Activate your inner value and worth so that you have full confidence to charge your premium price and receive the money you desire for the work that you do. Unlock your message and inner magnetism to continue attract the precise soul-aligned clients. Remember, our client has to be aligned with what the message that we want to actually deliver, right? And then open your field, and this is the part that I talk about. Open up your vibrations and energy to receive more abundance by releasing all the blocks and limiting beliefs by getting in your way. And the last one is reaching your audience, magnetize your ideal clients with your impactful vision. So the system for this lead generation plus sales plus system, this is actually for you to make sure to remember the point that I shared with you. You must have all of this system in place so that you can focus what you're good at. And then what I will do with you is that, I will teach you what you need. And then after that, the messaging, you can work with the PA, or you can actually ask your PA to attend with you, so that according to this lead generation and sales system, you can actually get the PA to attend with you so that they will know what they need to do. Otherwise, if you deliver to them, then there are certain messages will be missing. And sometimes your PA asks you and you don't understand to answer the reason why we need to create that system, right? So this is for the business owners. And then, so what is total covered for is 16 live masterclass and success formula based on your energy, your essence, and magnetic marketing, blueprint to increase your traffic, and soul x-ray. And soul x-ray is to discover your inner calling, and also to help you discover your business path and what kind of business path that you work. Because the business path not necessarily just for one. you can combine 3 or 4 together so that you can actually have a certain role, because the business path will determine your strength. Sometimes you have more than one strength, then therefore you can actually have a different business path. Okay, so then what is this total investment is 4,000 for 4 months of 16 lives, 3 hours per week, and 10 session private session one-to-one. And then this is only special for my Royal Tribe, is only 2,997, and can have 4 months installments special for my Royal Tribe. Every month is 777. So that is what I have after this session if you want to continue to work with me. So for those who already work with me, okay, you can reach out to me, because I've already have some kind of like a connection with you. So you just need to plan based on what you attend today. You plan on where is it that you are at, and then maybe you want to resubmit again. I want to, after I know my 8 business path, I want to change, and that is what you can actually have a session with me. So for those who haven't attended, this is the special rates for my Royal Tribe. And then after that, once the 10 people is filled, I'm not going to accept for June batch. You have to wait 4 months later to actually sign up with me. Okay, so that's all I have. And if you have any questions, can you type in the chat before we close? We have like 2 minutes. I know that I'm overshoot by 27 minutes. So yeah, so if you have any question, go ahead and ask me in the chat. No question? Welcome, Julie. I'll get in touch with you soon. Okay, so if you have no questions, you can actually leave this webinar. If you have question and you want to ask me any private question, you can ask me at this email. And I'm going to actually share this webinar with someone else. If you have someone that need this webinar and need to listen, go in and share with this webinar. Once I share the link with you, you can share the webinar with them. So if there are no question, I'm going to end this webinar and have a nice day. Bye-bye.